AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, we're back on the show that's all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Thrilled to be joined by Quinton James, who's the head, the visionary, one of the visionaries behind True Mentors. Quinton, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Shalom. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Excited.
So I'm fascinated by any program that helps executives, business professionals network with each other while also giving back to the community. So, Quinton, if you don't mind, walk our listeners through what is True Mentors.
Yeah, absolutely. True Mentors is basically a mentor interactive platform that gives CEOs, C-level executives, professional athletes, those who want to really make a change, honestly, not just in the Illinois area, but in the nation, where they can do two things. They can ultimately create a huge, powerful business leadership within each other, and then they also mentor thousands of people via the internet.
That's powerful. And I couldn't help but notice on the website that the name Gary Rabine was listed as probably the visionary and the person that really developed this idea and brought you on board to lead the growth. Gary was on this program, as many of our listeners will recall, and he exemplifies what a business professional should be by growing an enterprise, but giving back to the community in such a major way. Is the goal to empower other like-minded professionals to do a similar bit of work in the community as well?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that True Mentors is really doing, and we're creating, and we're excited because once Gary gave me the opportunity to oversee True Mentors, at one point it was, I don't necessarily say destitute, but it was at a position where it was kind of stagnant. And because of his passion of him being actually my mentor to transition it to where it is now, we have 30 to 35 different CEOs and C-level executives from Ace Hardware all the way to Gary Rabine himself. And the whole goal is to create a like-minded network of people within this whole community, specifically in Illinois, where they are able to kind of help each other, not only grow businesses within each other, but also give back to those who are interested in maybe their industry, but overall just business or just leadership as a whole.
So while I want to focus quite a bit on the professionals that are involved in True Mentors, if you don't mind, Quinton, if you could walk us through what is the profile of one of the mentees, one of the people that are participating and perhaps benefiting from a mentorship opportunity with Gary Rabine.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple different target markets, and then we kind of scale them to two different facets. So our target markets would be more so, it could be a collegiate student, a college student who's, interested in entrepreneurship or interested in business or just kind of want to take more of a proactive approach to the next step of their professional career. You can have those young professionals who are already in corporate. They might feel they're a little bit in the rut and they want a mentor. What we've noticed is 35% of employees who don't have a mentor in any capacity, they look to find another source of employment within a year.
Well, we emphasize mentorship and asking for advice quite a bit on this program. So Absolutely. Say I am a wildly successful business professional, which, in perhaps a fantasy world, maybe I am. But say I own a company with several hundred people, quite a bit of revenue, and I decide this is the right thing for me to do to be involved in True Mentors, both to give back to the community, but also in a selfish way for my networking. What does the program look like? How often are we getting together to network and mingle and build relationships?
Good question. So one of the biggest things is that we take an active approach as far as finding out specifically how you want to mentor a specific individual, but also how you want to network. Because everyone wants to do things a little differently, so we have an on-demand approach to that. So a good example is one of the things we do once, maybe a quarter, at a bare minimum, we'll have all of the mentors, or should I say the business leaders, connect within each other just so they can build relationships and build rapport. We have others who are extremely big into giving back on a bigger stage, such as Emerson Sparks as a good example. He's a true mentor of ours, too, and he's really, really faceted as far as anytime, Quinton, you need me for a speaking engagement where I'm speaking to thousands or hundreds of people, I'll definitely be there. So it really depends on how a person wants to kind of not only give back, but also connect with each other. We have an event coming up on November 15th with the NFL alumni, which is pretty cool. And that's going to be another opportunity for them to connect. So we do things relatively, I would say, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what's going on. You know, with you being a CEO or just a professional in limelight, you have it's difficult to get everyone together, so we take mind of that. But it is a network where people can really build relationships with each other because they all have the same cause.
That's powerful, and we're quickly running out of time. But real quick, I understand that there is a detailed questionnaire that you have ready for perhaps our listeners that might be interested, so you can learn more about them. Is that correct?
Yes. So one of the things that we do for a mentor, where the interactive profile comes in, we ask them 60 different questions, some personal, some business, and some leadership, because to be honest with you, success principles don't change.
Sure.
And that's what I've noticed. So one of the things is every mentor ultimately does that. They get some business questions, some leadership questions. We put that on their profile.
Wow.
So people who are interested not just in their industry, but might be interested in the person, they can really see how they think before they even
Well, Quinton, we're running out of time. I want to make sure our listeners are able to get a hold of you. What is the website for True Mentors?
Yes, it's www.truementors.com.
And how can people get a hold of you?
1-800, it shows at 1-888-722-4633, or Quinton James at truementors.com.
Fantastic. Quinton James of True Mentors, we appreciate you coming on. We'll follow your progress. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show that's all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship.